Hey everybody, this is TNT, Pro Wrestling with TNT. We're coming on for our second edition here. You may have noticed we got a little screen banner here around the outside, and yeah, excited to be back here. Lots going on in the world of pro wrestling. Locally, we're still in the grips of lockdown here in New South Wales, so there's been a lot of talk whether the AWF Legacy event, which is scheduled for the 1st of October, can go ahead. So we're waiting on the local council decision, which should be in the next couple of days, whether that 1st of October event will be able to take place. It's touch and go at the moment, so we do have other dates scheduled in November and December as backups. So we're just waiting on those decision. Tickets are on sale still for that event, so please support it. Whatever the outcome is, you'll either be offered a refund or you'll be able to attend the event. There's only going to be limited tickets, so please, if you are interested in that event, get your tickets, and we'll definitely look after you and make sure that once everything is safe to return to events, we will be there and we'll be able to. Obviously put on a great event. The card is going to be stacked, 7 big matches. It's going to go for over 2 hours. It's been announced myself, TNT is going to be taking on Mad Max Ramirez, the new AWF Commonwealth Champion. He defeated Whiskey 6 at our last event, which was all the way back in June. So we're going to be raring to go for that one. I can't wait to get my hands on him. It's going to be the 22nd anniversary for AWF, so that's going to be a big night whenever that takes place. So stay tuned there. Get on the AWF website, awfwrestling.com.au. We got the legacy tickets there for sale. They've sold quite a few already, so please support the AWF, get on there and get your ticket early, and we will be able to deliver a great event upcoming soon. So that card, TNT versus Mad Max Ramirez. We got new tag team champions going to be crowned. Duchess and Eternity taking on Viral Productions. That's going to be a hell of a match. Women's action with Nikki Petite taking on Kobe Starr. That'll be an AWF women's tournament bout. The winner of that will go on to face Flame, who defeated Catherine Nixon at our last event, so that's going to be a fantastic one. Genghis Khan versus DJ Sonic, that's going to be a hell of a match. They had one of the matches of the year so far earlier in the year down at Mothership Studios, so that's going to be a first time battle at Blacktown, and that's some great contenders action there. Those two guys, Genghis Khan, a veteran of the New South Wales scene, one of the most underrated talents in Australia for sure. DJ Sonic almost was the AWF Australasian champion, defeated the Misfit. However, some rules got overturned, and the commish was involved in a few things, but he didn't end up getting the championship. But he's looking to position himself so that he can get a rematch anytime soon. Some more matches on the card. It's going to be a Trauma from Torture Toronto Services, the big man taking on Whiskey 6. Whiskey's going to be bouncing back after losing that Commonwealth Championship. He's going to be fired up and ready to go for that one. Also, big grudge match, the Outsider versus Aries. Those two guys have had an ongoing series of problems over the whole of 2021, so that's going to be coming to a head with those guys. It's going to be Matt Static's going to be returned to action. He's going to take on the Wild Torture, also a member of the Cartel and Torture Trauma Services. That's going to be a stacked card, 7 huge matches. So please, support the AWF. Get online there, check out their tickets there. It's going to be at the Blacktown Bummer Hall, a fantastic hall. There's going to be drinks. By the time that event comes around, everyone's going to be raring to get out and just have a lot of fun. So that's going to be a wild night. And celebrating 22 years of AWF, that's quite an accomplishment, obviously. So, please come and be part of wrestling history, as they say. And, this is AWF Wrestling dropped for August the last couple of days. So, please go on the AWF YouTube channel and check that one out. We'll have a link in the description down the bottom. It was the Outsider taking on Lindstrom. That was from one of the AWF Blacktown earlier in the year events. That was a wild battle. We get to see the Outsider pure madness and doing his thing. I was the commentator for the event for the latest edition of This Is AWF, which was cool. And then we saw the AWF Commonwealth title match highlighted there with Whiskey Six versus Mad Max Ramirez, title match. Big stakes, a lot of people involved with that one, a big feud that had been culminating from the start of the year all the way through, lots of building up to that one, and it's a hell of a match, Chilean chain match, so first time ever in AWF, and under that moniker in professional wrestling, so another first from the AWF. So yeah, check out This Is AWF Wrestling on the AWF YouTube channel. Bunch of other great new additions to our YouTube channel. The very first and second events, full events, are up there for you to check out. Whiskey Six versus Juventud Guerrera. That's a recent addition, and there's going to be a few more uploads of the next couple of weeks. And in the lead up to AWF Legacy, we will have another This Is AWF Wrestling. We've kind of been holding off on that one for a little while for the event, but yeah, we're just going to go back to our schedule and get something out a little bit more regular soon. So yeah, thanks for supporting that project. If you are a sponsor, or if you are somebody that's interested in getting your products out there, please shoot us an email, info@awfwrestling.com.au, and let us know your interest, and we'd love to feature your product or your wrestling or non-wrestling service on that event. We've also got some affiliates as well, which you'll find in the description. They just help pay the bills a little bit with AWF, and hopefully some people will find some value out of the products. So we've got things that are related to catch wrestling, so it's a scientific wrestling. We've got some products that are weightlifting based, from Ben Pekulski, the MI40 program and a ketogenic program. We've also got some other great products, biooptimizers and things that we think that wrestling fans would be interested in. There is also an MMA program, another program for deadlifts and the like. So please check them out in our description. You might find something, or a course there, and any purchase that you make, we do get a little kickback. So it helps out the AWF and myself a little. TNT is going to have some new merchandise, some new shirts. We've got the AWF shop, which is quite a work in progress. We're going to have a lot of the individual wrestlers putting some shirts up over the coming weeks as well. But there's new shirts from Darkness and Eternity, from the Outer Realm. There's some Detonation crew jackets, a lot of AWF designs. We've got AWF t-shirt designs, Proud to Be Pro Wrestling. There's a whole bunch of designs up there, so please get yourself on board there and check that out. And of course, don't forget AWF Legacy. That's on the front page of the website with a bunch of tickets there. The AWF website is awfwrestling.com.au, and you can get your tickets, and at the /shop for the shop there. It'll also be in the menu bar at the top. We've also got our AWF Pivot Share, which you can link from the website, but also just going to Australian Wrestling Federation Pivot Share, and some new titles going up on there. TNT Volume 1, 2, and 3 are up there, so please support that. That really helps me out. We've had a great August. We had a lot of interest of people checking out some of the videos on there. We've got all the live events from 2021 from AWF up there currently for $9.99, which is a great value. They help run the live events and keep us going. So yeah, big shout out to some of our regular fans who have checked on board there. International fans, you want to check out AWF, there's plenty of events. There's some older events going up. Some of the original International Soul events have gone up. I wrestled Super Drag and Frankie Kazarian on some of those shows, so they've went up from our old the AWF On Demand sort of site. That now they're up on the AWF Pivot Share, which is great, so come and check them out. We're going to have a whole bunch of Psychotic Slam 99, the original, that's being edited and processed from VHS. So that should be up in the next week or two, as long as Pivot Share can upload again. They're just having a few technical difficulties getting new stuff up, but we're on our way. So Yeah, lots of new content will go up there. Like I said, TNT 1, 2, and 3, all AWF 2021 events are up there, plus some of the events from 2020, and we're gonna start putting older content up. Also on the AWF YouTube, like I did mention, we're gonna have some of the older events. They'll all end up going up on the AWF Pivot Share as well, and down the track, it'll likely turn into a sort of on-demand side as well, sort of thing, where you can, it won't just be individual titles. You'll be able to get a monthly subscription and check out a whole bunch of stuff. But we really want to have a lot of content and a lot of stuff that's not readily available anywhere, or that hasn't been available for many years. Some of it will be just handheld stuff, or stuff that isn't fully pro. As far as 2 or 3 camera shoots, like our up-to-date stuff, but because basically there was only sometimes 1 or 2 cameras at the time, so we'll just do the best with what we've got. But it would be good to look back on some of these events and highlight some of the great talents that have come through AWF through the years. There's been a lot of locals that have been fantastic that through time may have been forgotten a little bit, but great wrestlers. And then as the years went by, we had so many great internationals that come over and wrestled in the AWF. Stars like Sabu, Raven, Chris Candido, a whole bunch of others. So we're going to see some of them in some of the events from 1999 all the way through until 2007 to 2010 as we go along, and we'll start to upload them. And we're going to try and do them in chronological order so people can understand that follow it again in the break, and really give the backbone of the history of the AWF. And have that all in one place over time. So they're lengthy projects. It does take time to convert and digitize a lot of the stuff from VHS. But we've started the process, and we're going to try and get some of it out so more people see it. We're going to have a lot of free content because some of the stuff we just want people to see, and it'd be great reminder for some of our wrestlers, and also from some of the fans at the time. We want to hear from our fans. We want to have a more and more contact with our fan base, and have open conversations with what they want to see in the future. And we're hoping to really be really interactive as we go along. So some great stuff there. So the AWF email list, please get on that if you're not already on that. It's info@awfwrestling.com.au. You can just shoot us an email, say, hey, I want to be on the AWF email list. We send out an email every month which tells you about upcoming events, upcoming specials, new videos. We're going to have special interviews with wrestlers. There'll be a mention of this new Pro Wrestling with TNT sort of stream, and just getting more eyes on the wrestling. So if you can support that, that'd be fantastic. So that's a lot of AWF news. Internationally, we've got a lot going on as well. So wrestling seems to be coming into a bit of a comeback. There's so much good wrestling going on at the moment around the world. AEW has been getting some excitement around it. Of course, there was the sort of AWF Rampage debut, and along with that came the return of CM Punk. He came out to the audience and did an interview, which was very well received by wrestling fans. It was in Chicago, his hometown, so a massive crowd there. I believe for Rampage it was about 15,000 people, so that was quite exciting. He got a huge pop as he came out, and it had been 7 years since CM Punk had been in a wrestling ring since leaving the WWE on not the greatest terms, after having some injuries and not getting time off and a whole bunch of things. So he's back. There's a lot of excitement for that. They're going to be heading into their All Out event, which is going to be taking place this weekend, which will be on the 5th of September. That's going to be exciting. It's been announced that it'll be Darby Allin versus CM Punk in Punk's first return match to wrestling. So a lot of fans really high on Darby Allin and his exciting style. So that's going to be a hell of a match. Elsewhere on the card, Christian Cage versus Kenny Omega for the AEW Championship. That's going to be a hell of a bout. Christian Cage recently defeated Omega for the Impact Championship, so they're going to be having another match, and that's going to be another great wrestling bout, because both those guys are fantastic. Christian Cage, quite the story as well, returning to wrestling over the last few months, and coming in with a lot of excitement and good hype, and he's been delivering so far. So what a credit to the wrestling is. He's always been an underrated wrestler, in my view, as far as his in-ring talents. For many years he has been a great performer. So great to see him back with a lot of enthusiasm. It's going to be a big steel cage match for the AEW tag team titles. So it'll be the Young Bucks taking on the winners of the tag team tournament, which is being taken place over the last few weeks. So I believe it could be down to Phoenix and Ray Phoenix and Pentagon. So and maybe the Jurassic Express. So the winner of that one might go into the finals. So whoever is the winner of that sort of tournament, that's going to be a hell of a match with the Young Bucks in a steel cage on such a big show all out. So Pac versus Andrade El Idol, that's going to be maybe the show still that promises some quality in-ring action there. Paul Wyatt, the Giant, he's going to return. He's going to be against QT Marshall. Women's Casino Battle Royal. Lots going on in AEW. That one All Out is going to be this weekend. So interesting card, and they're going to be looking for another big crowd there. AEW pulling their biggest crowds and big ratings with the return of CM Punk. They got over 1 million people watching. NXT was beaten in the so-called Wednesday night rating wars and moved their night. NXT has a new logo now. Some talk within the wrestling business that they are going to be changing their outlook a little bit on the way that they present their wrestling as far as NXT as a result of that. So we'll see what happens there. NXT, I felt like was always a pretty good product from what the fans were receiving, how the fans were receiving it, and what went on in the ring. So I'm not sure whether they really needed to change things too much, but it'll remain to be seen. Sometimes a fresh coat of paint can be a lot of good for perception, and we'll see what's going to happen there in NXT. I hope Bronson Reed, who was recently released, he was the North American champion. I hope he can bounce back soon. He's still in the USA. Hopefully he'll come up with another wrestling company over there again soon, and can contribute on the international scene there. If not, he'd definitely be welcome back in Australia with open arms, and can see what his future in wrestling here takes place. Definitely a great talent, international talent, and hopefully he can do well. Elsewise, I guess WWE in the USA. SummerSlam was their return to big pay-per-view events once again. This time around, they were in Las Vegas, so they drew a massive crowd, 51,326. They announced, which was a lot of fans. It's likely that's how many people are in the building. So they say, with all the staff and whatnot, it's probably closer to 45 to 50,000 actually tickets sold. But that's still massive. It's a great return to big stadium wrestling. 50,000 there around is huge. So great atmosphere, great production as always. They didn't have the Titantron screen this time. They just kind of had a traditional entrance, which was pretty cool. Lots of title changes, lots of action. RK Bro defeated AJ Styles and Omos in the opening match. Quite a good match. They tore it up. The crowd reacted well for the finish there. Omos looked really strong in the match, which is I guess the point of putting him with AJ and making him look really big. So nothing really lost too much there for Omos and Styles. But RK Bro will be the tag champions there going forward. So see how their reign goes. Another championship match. Damian Priest beat Sheamus to become the US champion. So interesting match. Started off a little bit with some wrestling, which kind of moved into a lot of big moves, and In the end, it was the Reckoning, which is I guess the old roll the dice or the Shane reaction in AWF, and we had a new US champion, which was well received. I think Damian Priest is a pretty good talent. Punishment Martinez from the former Ring of Honor is where I'd seen him a couple of times and I thought he was great. So I had a lot of potential. So yeah, a really good looking dude. I guess he's kind of got like a rock and roll, almost like a Rob Zombie sort of gimmick a little bit with the gear, but yeah, and the cool dreadlock hair. So yeah, good luck to him. Hopefully he has a good reign, and it's another face that the WWE can push to their audience. Elsewhere, the women's championship match, I guess. With Bianca Belair set to face her, her usual rival Sasha Banks, but Banks apparently injured, couldn't make SummerSlam, which would have been a great disappointment to many, and including herself. So as it turned, they had Carmella come out, and then as if they were going to have a match, and then Belair was a little bit upset and whatnot, but then. The return of Becky Lynch, she came out and pretty much just trashed Carmella, so they really buried her. And then they did a little bit of talky talk and set up a match. And well, as it went, it was just basically a handshake, a forearm, and then just the big manhandle slam, and within seconds, Belair was beaten. A quick shock victory, so to speak. We'll have to see where that one's going. I kind of didn't think it was good for SummerSlam. I don't know whether they felt like they didn't have the time to put on a good match or whatever, but I feel like it would have been better for the fans if they could have had a bit more time to put on a match that people would have been talking about, and hey, Becky Lynch is back, and we got a hell of a match out of it, but maybe they wanted to draw it out a bit more, and being SummerSlam, you want to have these big moments on these things. If they would have had a classic match there for the women's division, I think it could have helped them, but maybe they're looking at that down the road so that they can really bring Belair up, and obviously the man got a huge ovation. We'll see what's going to happen. There's rumors in the wrestling world. Someone told me that she'd probably be a heel, possibly, which is I'm not sure why they would do that because she was so well received. But we'll see what's going to happen there. And the man is back, so to speak. Many returns, I guess, were a reply to CM Punk coming back and just trying to make WWE hot. So that one was well received. SummerSlam, such a big event, so why not put it on there? Speaking of the women's action, there was also the Raw Championship with Nikki Ash, Rhea Ripley, and Charlotte. That was quite a good contest. Charlotte coming off the top rope to the floor with her big sky twister. Rhea, going for her ripcord and doing a bunch of stuff there. So some good action. In the end, it was Charlotte becoming the champion once again. She put the figure 8 on Nikki Ash and got the win. So Charlotte Flair is a champion again. Elsewhere on the card, Rollins Edge, they had a fantastic match, well built story, match build up. Edge with the big win in the end. He put on a crossface submission and slammed Rollins into the canvas a few times and got the tap. So that was good stuff. Maybe the best match in the card. And there was Goldberg and Lashley. They kind of had a bit of a confrontation. A little bit clumsy in spots, but those guys are big dudes and did their thing. They sold the knee injury on Goldberg, so a match stoppage, which is rare in the WWE. So that was some interesting booking. And then as it went, they had Goldberg shouting that I'm going to kill you twice on camera, which is not usually they have someone say. So some heated words there. I've noticed in the wrestling, both WWE and AEW, there's been a bit of swearing recently, which was something that didn't really happen on TV for the longest time. So the S word was thrown around on AEW, and in WWE. So a little bit more sort of M style wrestling stuff. So I don't know whether that's a thing of the times, or were the stations they're on now with Peacock and obviously TNT able to have a little bit more sort of mature content or mature sort of language that's been allowed. Obviously in TNT, they recently did the Chris Jericho sort of glass and sort of hardcore death match style match. So they're doing a bit more sort of hardcore stuff there, and Moxley did a couple of wild things as well. So I personally like that kind of style. I like adult style wrestling, but there's a lot of factors to consider when you're running TV, and you've got PG audiences and stuff like that. So that's the way that one went. And then they had I guess the SummerSlam main event was John Cena's big return for the championship match against Roman Reigns. They put on a match that built. In the end, it was Reigns with two Superman punches, and then hit the spear and got the big win. And then right at the end, as Reigns was celebrating another big return, Brock Lesnar came back to the ring. He came out and a little bit of a face-off, made his presence felt. Reigns backed off. Paul Heyman was there, sort of, oh my God, what's going on? And it was a big end to SummerSlam, and the WWE will move forward from there, obviously. So huge event that apparently was like the most viewed event for SummerSlam ever via the Peacock distribution. So they're happy about that, and made a lot of merchandise, a lot of product. It was moved. So SummerSlam, huge event. It's the first full WWE pay-per-view I'd got to see for a long time. I watched it in a couple of parts. It's hard to just time-wise and just life-wise to watch 3 hours or 4 hours of wrestling or whatever it would be. So I caught it, and for the most part it was quite good. There's been so much good wrestling going on as well. So this has been a great chance, one of the first times in a long time for me to be able to catch a whole bunch of wrestling. So I've been doing my best to check it out while I can, while the pandemic's in full swing. In the evening just before bed, I'll try and check something out and have a think about some things, or on a lunch break and check some things. Some other news of note, I guess. Beautiful Bobby Eaton passed since we last had our first promising with TNT. So a great wrestler. Some excellent matches with the Midnight Express. There's, from me, Super Brawl 2 versus Arn Anderson as a singles. That was a great match. As a tag team, obviously, versus the Rock and Roll Express. And the Road Warriors, and some of those matches with the Midnight Express were fantastic back in the NWA days. What a just a loss. So elsewise, I caught the NWA 73 main event with Nick Aldis, taking on Trevor Murdock. That was quite a match. Those guys went out hard and fast. Aldis attacking Murdock, and on the way to the ring, they kind of brawled and did their thing on the outside for a couple of minutes, and then they finally started in the middle of the ring. Got going, lots of big moves, lots of big kick-outs. In the end, they did, on the lead up, they did a big elbow driver from the top, set up from like through a table. So the table was set up on the outside, and Alice came from the top, drove the elbow, brought him back in, false finish, kicked out. Then it was, Murdoch made a triumphant comeback after surviving the sharpshooter lock, and then Yeah, it was a big pile driver, and he came off the top, finally nailed the Bulldog. His family was there. It was an emotional victory. Ric Flair came out, congratulated Murdoch, and there's a new NWA World Champion. So, Trevor Murdoch, maybe an interesting choice. He's definitely, over the past few years, seemed to be a good company man for the NWA. Billy Corgan was out there. And the NWA is really built on tradition. That match, during the match, there was a lot of references to Harley Race. Obviously with the pile drivers mentioned, Murdoch came out in the Harley Race jacket. It was at the Chase, which is a very historic venue in St. Louis. So so that had a lot of history with it, and they had some Ric Flair references in there. Former champion Tim Storm was on commentary. So yeah, it was what it was. I haven't seen a hell of a lot of the NWA since it's been revived and whatnot. But that was a really good match, and like the presentation, it's kind of weird watching something that's kind of presented, just with the look of it. Like it was from years and years ago. I guess from the 80s and almost 70s. The way that they've got the blue and yellow ring canvas, just with the old school NWA logo on it and whatnot. But they're just trying to find their niche, and there's a fan base for it. So yeah, I hope they can continue. And the tag team titles, I didn't get to see the match yet, but I'm going to go back and check out some of that card. John Unit and Beastia, they became the NWA Tag Team Champions, which is pretty cool. Conan was out there putting it over, so looking forward to that one. So fantastic. And lots of great wrestling going on. New Japan, Shingo, along with Bushi, got diagnosed with COVID-19. However, they are recovering now. Grand Slam is coming up also on the 5th of September, so they are going to be on those cards. I believe Shingo is going to have a title match, which should be quite of interest to many. So we'll see what's going on with that one. I believe he's going to take on Evil for the New Japan Championship. So that should be an interesting 2 nights. MetLife Stadium in Japan. So that's going to be some huge stuff. So much going on. AEW, WWE, New Japan. I'm going to check out some GCW, who's been doing some cool stuff. Matt Cardona, former WWE wrestler, he's their champion now. So he's been running wild on the internet, and the new champion, just a little bit of sort of a conflict of interest with the GCW fan audience. So I know Vivian Guerrero wrestled there recently. A bunch of guys like Scorpio, some of the guys that I've wrestled. So keen to check that out a bit more. Nick Gage has been running wild there, the 440. So gonna check out some more GCW in the week and get back. And of course I'll try and check out All Out and some of the other big international wrestling stuff. I will be checking out some of the Perth wrestling. EPW and NHPW had a couple of events this week, so keen to see them, and keen to just enjoy wrestling, watching it for the first time on a regular basis for the longest time, just due to time. So I've said a lot here today. I might not go into as depth of the shows as I did here today on all of them, or unless you want me to. So please leave some comments. Let me know what you want to hear, what you want to know. I'll have some more stories and some more TNT content that's going to come up, during the podcast or during the streams upcoming. So yeah, please, get in the comments. I had a few people message me on Facebook saying that they saw it and saw the first one and bought a smile, and I'd love to hear some stories about just running the wrestling and doing the shows. I'm going to check out the show Heels. One of the wrestlers from AWF said, "Oh, you should check it out. It'll probably be something that you can relate to, living in the wrestling bubble, and for when I have my family to deal with and whatnot." So Stephen Amell is the star of that. Obviously CM Punk is going to make an appearance in, I believe, this week's episode. So I'll check out Heels and give that a look, and maybe make a few comments about that one on the next issue. We'll come back again next week. And speak some more. So for now, please support us. TNT merchandise. I've got those streams that I mentioned. I've got new T-shirts. And some more T-shirts coming up, which I'll let you guys know about next week. I'll put some comments, sort of some links in the descriptions. Check out our affiliates, and also get your tickets for AWF Legacy. We run that event sooner or later, as soon as we get out of the pandemic situation in New South Wales, and also the AWF Pivot Share. Please check that out, and if you can, purchase titles from there. It really helps keep the dream alive, so to speak. So I'm TNT anyway. I've been wrestling for 26 years now. I love professional wrestling. I'm really appreciated that you've come and had a listen here today, and I hope you'll join me more regularly. So any questions you got, anything that you want to know about wrestling, I guess, or just about Australian wrestling in general, or just international wrestling, please throw some questions down in the comments section, or email us at info@awfwrestling.com.au for the mail list, and also any questions. And thanks for joining us, and boom, it's Detonation time once again, and we'll be back again soon for more pro wrestling with TNT. We'll see you guys again soon.